Hey guys, how you doing today? Uh, just enjoying a day off, checking out the news, checking out the stuff. Saw a nice video from Richard Wolff, who I for sure will always recommend. Richard Wolff is like the cutting edge, like the leading edge of the communist revolution that's beginning here in North America. He's the one who is, in my view, not only articulating what is happening, uh, but is articulating actual solutions that are not only um, reasonable, but could be done easily. Right? Things like he says that we need to democratize the enterprise, which means shifting control of our, uh, top-down hierarchical tyrannies, which we call businesses, where we spend most of our time, transferring control of them into worker co-ops, where the workers actually control these businesses and are able to vote and elect their own leadership and so on and so forth. That to me would be pretty simple to do, and it's something that we should be focusing on. Right now, there's a real growing sense of despair amongst the populace and amongst the even here in Canada. I think that Biden is likely to win this next presidential election, and that is meaningless, right? People are going to fool themselves into believing that a Joe Biden presidency is going to be any kind of improvement whatsoever. And it's possible that from a climate change perspective, which climate change has got to be the number one issue at this point, right? If you're not voting for a candidate based exclusively on the realities of what's going on with climate change, then, I just don't even know what to say at this point. Right? Like, we have to face this issue down. We have to look at it seriously. And like now we are getting to the point now where places like China, India, they're just doing a better job than we are. Period. Right? Because they have functioning systems that work, that have been funneled into actually improving the lives of their citizenry. And like, sure, you can criticize these places, like of course you can, right? Not that we as Westerners are in a position to criticize anyone, or even when we do so extremely dishonestly, typically just lying our faces off about it, to pretend as though we're the greatest nation on earth and all this kind of stuff, when we're in a free fall decline, with no actual solutions or anything put on the table to actually improve any of that. I listened to this interview that was given on Richard Wolff's podcast by a fellow who is of the in the podcast The Serfs, and I have to say, like, and I've been saying this a lot about our leftist podcasters and people who are coming up, right? I'm actually getting really, really disappointed about the lack of urgency. That's really what I'm getting disappointed about. And that's why I scream my head off on this podcast about climate change, and why I scream my head off about the collapse of capitalism, right? Like, we are returning. Like, I admire their name, the serfs. That's a good name to use because it's accurate. We are serfs. And capitalism, insofar as it exists, is collapsing back into a form of neo-feudalism, without a doubt. And the amount of pain and difficulty this is going to mean for the younger generation is it's going to be pretty staggering, and it's going to be staggering to see how quickly it happens. The pandemic accelerated the collapse of capitalism. It transferred more wealth into the hands of the billionaire class and away from the populace. And there's just less business to go around. This whole idea that just go find another job. Like, what are you, insane? And the answer is yes, obviously. These people are insane. They've completely detached from reality and they don't know what's going on outside of their little borders, right? Like, we're talking about people who spend their entire life essentially just in their house, and then they get in a big gas guzzling truck, and then they go to a job that was given to them by their daddy, uh, and then back again, right? The only time they go anywhere else is to like go see a movie, or maybe they go to a Denny's or something, or a Tim Hortons. Like, these people are detached from reality. They don't actually know anything or talk to anyone. But I've been pounding on that drum this entire time. And I'm disappointed in these leftist podcasts that are coming up, like the Serfs, the Rational National, all these guys, because there's no sense of urgency, right? There's no sense of urgency with these guys. Like, they're sitting there and they're talking their game, and they've got a lot of supporters and they've got a lot of followers, but there's no sense of organization. There's no sense of, like, you guys are the guys that need to take over the electoral process, right? Like, you are the guys. like I look at a guy like the guy who runs the Rational National. Like, that guy has, 100,000 followers. I shouldn't say that. I don't know exactly how many followers he has, but like, here's a guy who should be running for office, no doubt. He's got enough followers. He's got enough people. He could get the support, but I understand why they're not. I mean, that's very difficult, and it's a very confusing time. And we're all sort of hoping that there's going to be some savior that's going to come and resolve all our problems. It's going to be the exact opposite. There's no savior. There's no savior coming, right? Like, there's no Messiah that's coming back. There's none of that is real. None of that is going to happen. It's going to be the exact opposite, right? We're going to have a Joe Biden who comes into office and is ineffectual and weak because he's just a neoliberal corporatist, and in many ways acts exactly as fascists act, right? The pitch that they're trying to give with Joe Biden now is, oh, he's so nice. Look how nice he's just so nice to people. Isn't he nice? Which, that's how low the bar is, right? Forget about all his policies. Forget about anything that he's done in the past. Forget about the fact that he voted for the Iraq War. Forget that he wrote the crime bill. Like, forget about any of this. Oh, he's just so nice. He gave a black child a pin once. Isn't that nice? That's how gullible and stupid we are as a people. Like, we really are getting to the point now where we need to be coming together and surrounding the homes. Like, not the power centers, not like the city halls or the White House or any of that. We need to go to play, like, if Joe Biden is the president, we need to go to Joe Biden's house, right? Like, that's where we are at now, and we're not taking it seriously at all. Like, we're not. Like, the last time there was a climate change, I think about the last time there was a big climate change rally, right? Lots of people went. It was a big deal, actually, here in Toronto. Lots and lots of people went for one day and then went home. Justin Trudeau came, and there was a big photo op, and the people went, hey, aren't you the leader? Like, can't you do something about this? So he's going to get rid of plastic straws. There you go, problem solved. What should be happening at this stage in the game is those climate rallies should begin, and that should be the starting point. The populace should gather, and then the populace should go to these people's houses, and they should stay there. I'm talking like 10,000 people. That's what it's going to take, because we're ruled by sociopaths, right? And I keep having these conversations where I'm supposed to consider the conservative position as, oh, we're just having a disagreement. If someone is on top of you with a knife and they're attempting to stab you in the throat in order to murder you, you're not having a disagreement, right? If someone is attempting to destroy your home, your lifestyle, they're attempting to plunder any benefits that you get and steal them for themselves, you're not having a disagreement. They are thieves and murderers attempting to plunder you while the system you rely on is collapsing. Like, it just really does seem like we want to go through a complete bloodletting. Like, it seems like we need to go through a period of feudalism. And that anytime you talk to anybody about it, they're just like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You should go to these people's houses and threaten their lives. That's what you should do. You should make it very clear that if this continues, they will cease to exist. You should go to their houses with guillotines. Like, I don't understand why these are difficult propositions, but we're so gulled and complacent. And the sociopaths will attempt to convince us that, oh, well, you're the ones acting barbaric, when they're the ones who have been actively destroying us and telling us that we are weak and pathetic and lazy, for saying, oh, hey, shouldn't we have a nicer place? My favorite is when people just say, well, why don't you move to China then? Like, I mean, first of all, it's a genocidal act is what you're talking about, right? Take your political opponents and relocate them. That's genocide. But that's conservatism for you, right? The beating heart of conservatism is exploitation and genocide. So I don't know why their proponents and supporters should think any differently. Like, we have to stop talking about these conservatives and these fascists as if they have anything, as if we're having a conversation, as if we're just having a disagreement. These people are murderers. They're sociopaths. They want to destroy us and plunder our society, right? Take a look at what they're doing to the First Nations people right now. That's what they want to do to us. We're not having a minor disagreement, right? We're not just talking about, oh, well, I think that it would be better to run our society this way. Oh, no, I think that running our society this way would be an improvement for the populace. These people don't give a shit about improving the populace, right? They don't care at all about improving the populace. They're thieves and grifters who are trying to get money for themselves, period. End of conversation. And anybody who stands up and disagrees with that has a mental illness or is a grifter. And that's where we need to be right now while we're having this conversation. And I'm extremely disappointed with these leftist podcasters who are rising in popularity, as they should, because the right has proven themselves to be full of sociopaths and grifters. But instead of actually saying what is obvious and like completely true, they're playing this middle ground idea. This like, oh no, we're just having a disagreement. No, they're just acting in a they're trying to help the populace. No, they're not. They're not trying to help the populace. They're trying to make themselves richer. And they will murder you to do it. Like, they will murder you to do it. Like, they don't give a fuck about you at all. So, fucking grow a pair. Like, grow a fucking pair. Actually start talking about these sociopaths the way that they are, instead of the way that you wish that they were. Like, they're not like, oh, they're not well-educated, well-meaning people who are just doing the wrong thing. They are sociopaths who are actively attempting to destroy you for money. That's exactly what they're doing. It's exactly who they are, right? Like, we should be saying, and I say it, and everybody else should be saying it, we should be hanging these people for treason. We should be seizing the means of production and seizing the levers of power and charging these people with treason, and we should film and televise a mass hanging for treason against these capitalist sociopaths. That's where we should be at. Oh no, well, if we just this, if we just fuck that. These capitalists need to be gone. They need to be gone from the conversation completely. They need to not be part of the conversation at all. At all. They should not be a consideration. When they say things like, well, if you do that, we'll leave, we should be saying, good, get out. We don't need sociopaths here. We'll do the job better than you, because there won't be these sociopathic parasites trying to suck and extract wealth out of our society for themselves, right? We're not there yet. Maybe when the food shortages begin. Maybe when we're being charged for water. Yeah, maybe then we'll actually start to say, hey, maybe these capitalists are sociopaths and we should get rid of them. But that's what it's going to take for even the people on the left who are just like weak. They're just so weak and limp, right? Like, it's annoying too because the people on the left are right. Right? Conservatives are convincing because they lie with confidence. I wish that we would tell the truth with an equal measure of confidence. And that begins with, so take someone like Jordan Peterson, right? We should have been asking him the entire time, so why are you defending sociopaths? That should have been like the number one question. Why are you defending sociopaths? Everyone should have asked him that. Every news outlet, everybody, because capitalists are obviously sociopaths. But we're not there yet. We're too cowardly and gulled and stupid and gullible. Gullible. Boy, are we gullible. We just believe whatever we're told. Just spoon-fed it. And we're going to pay. We're going to pay dearly for that. It's going to be a bloodletting and a period of neo-feudalism for sure, while the rest of the world is going to move on. Right? The rest of the world is going to move on, and you take a look at a place like China, which is growing annually at about 2%, while while we shrink our economies, while we actively work to undercut and destroy our populaces. China is actually working to like, okay, well, how do we improve things? How do we help our neighbors? How do we do that? But we're not interested. We're not interested. We're going to have a real survivalist period here, where it's every man for themselves, as the sociopaths have been telling us for decades. Every man for themselves, right? Individualism. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You're on your own. That's the lesson of capitalism. That you will be betrayed, and for some reason we're still supposed to take these people seriously when they stand in front of us. No. I will vote for anyone, and I will support anyone who says that we should arrest these people and charge them for treason. Okay, that's the end of me, guys. Good luck.